Hello, and welcome to the next installment of Cooking by the Book. My name is Douglas, a librarian with Baltimore County Public Library, and this is the series where I run into the collection, grab a cookbook, we make something together, and we see if it works. Today, we are making something Indonesian. We are using the School of Wok, Jeremy Pang, and his book, Simple Family Feasts. I am making a chips with a gado-gado sauce. It's a salad with what we would call French fries on top and a gado-gado sauce with peanuts. I am so excited. I can't wait to see if this works, and we're going to show you some skills along the way. So get ready, get set, we're about to cook. For the first step, we are going to prepare the vegetables for the salad. I'm going to be doing what's called blanching. Blanching is quickly cooking a vegetable for a very short period of time and then plunging it into an ice bath to stop the cooking and shock the vegetable. What this does is it keeps the vegetable, it brings out the color in the vegetable, it kills any microbes on the outside, but it will keep our vegetables crunchy, so when we put it in the salad, they're going to be crisp and bright green and ready to go. For this, we're going to start out with some bean sprouts. I've got some green beans and I've got some spinach. The bean sprouts and the spinach are only going to blanch for 30 seconds. Our green beans are a little heartier. They're going to blanch for 3 minutes. I'm going to start with the green beans. I've got a pot of boiling water ready to go, and I have a nice slotted spoon, which I will use to take the green beans out when they're ready. Okay, so now I am just going to scoop. See how wonderful the color is? I'm just going to scoop these right out of my pot, right into my ice bath. Blanching is really good. I do a lot, like if I'm going to work with asparagus, I'm not even worried about a little bit of bean sprouts still being in there. I don't need this pot after this, so I really just kind of want to get these crisp enough. And now, for the last minute, my baby spinach. The thing about the spinach is you want to do this fast because you don't want your spinach to wilt all the way down. Now, the fun thing about this recipe, something that I was able to learn, was that I needed to get some things from an Asian grocery store. And we have a really big one here in Baltimore, and I was really excited to go and learn. So if you have been watching this channel regularly, and I hope you are, and I love you for it, you will know my aversion to food processors. Yes, I could put all of this in a food processor, but Jeremy Pang suggested that we use a mortar and pestle. I didn't have one, so I went to get one. This is made out of granite. It is very heavy, and it comes with this pestle, which is also heavy. I'm going to be smashing all of these things into a paste. So I've managed to cut everything up on my cutting board. Jeremy Pang, if you see this, I didn't want you to see my knife skills because they are appalling, but I did get everything cut up. I did put the pepper already into the mortar and pestle, so I don't have to pick that up with my hands. And I'm just going to start, I guess, twisting and smashing. So we're just going to see how this goes. I have to eventually make a paste. Okay, let's throw some red onion in here. We've got the garlic and ginger. I'm glad I got this. This is if you look at the size of this bowl, this is what's an 8-inch. 8-inch is a pretty large size for home use. And it looks like this is the right size that I needed for all of this. You might not watch me for the 25 minutes it's going to take me to smash all of this up. Yes, Doug, be anti-food processor. Do all this by hand, I say. This is going to be fun, I say, as I break a sweat right here in the studio. We're going to continue with the gado-gado sauce. This is the most complex portion of this entire recipe, is making this sauce. I do believe that we could make this in advance, which is nice, but we have some other things that we want to put together, and then we're going to cook all of this in a saucepan to heat it up and heat it through before we work on the next step. This required a few exciting things. I have the tamarind concentrate, which I found at the Asian grocery. He did say that you could use lime juice in place of that. I found this thing called Kecap Manis, which is a sweet soy sauce. Again, I found that in the Asian grocery. It's very thick, not like your regular soy sauce that you might know. So it's a very thick, sweet soy sauce. I have 1 can of coconut milk, 6 tablespoons of creamy peanut butter, salt, and about a half cup of water. I'm going to mix this, stir this all together, and then we're going to work on putting this into our sauce. does smell very peanutty. He did say this was a peanut sauce, and I do agree. This is going to be aromatic and very peanutty, which I like. So I ground everything into a paste. It took a really long time. I think if I had cut things more finely, it would have been a little easier, but I did get it into a pretty good paste. I've added 2 tablespoons of oil, and I've now added this to my saucepan. And as you can see, it is bubbling nicely. I'm going to cook this for about 5 minutes. And then once this is done cooking for about 5 minutes, I'm going to add my peanut sauce to this, and I'm going to let the whole thing cook for about 10 more minutes. Those Thai chilies might have been a lot. My eyes are actually watering while I am stirring that. When my coworkers come and eat this, I might set their head on fire. And so this might be my last show. We don't know. I hope not. But now I'm just going to add my peanut mixture into this. And we are going to see how these flavors combine. I think this is going to make a wonderful peanut sauce. I am really excited to see what happens. And then we will work on our potatoes. So while my Gato Gato sauce is cooking, I can start the prep work for the next step. The reason I knew Jeremy Pang was British was that this is called chips, and we would call them fries. I'm basically making French fries to go on top of the salad. Those look like fry size to me. He said use 1 potato. I bought 2 just in case we needed to, we had a batch that went wrong. So I want to kind of get these salted. And then I have some salt now on my table, and I'm just going to kind of coat these. And then again, this takes about 10 minutes for me over on this side. So while this is cooking, I've got the 10 minutes for my potatoes to kind of get ready. So I've been heating the oil for quite a bit. Oil is very strange. It doesn't boil like water does. So you need to know when the temperature is ready. So if you take, I'm using a tong, but you can use the handle of a wooden spoon, something wooden, and just touch the top of it. And you should see bubbles form around it. And then the bubbles will float, and they'll you'll hear a little bit of a sizzle. I do see some bubbles forming, and I do hear a sizzle, and they are sort of floating. So I think it might be ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with 1. I don't want to waste potatoes by putting a lot in there if the oil is not ready. Okay, so 3 minutes in, it did get very, very brown. I don't know if my oil is too hot, but it does feel really soft, like a French fry. I think I might go with this. I think 3 minutes, it does feel like it's done, and it does have a nice golden shade. So I'm going to throw some more potatoes in there. I can't eat it yet because it is scalding. When I put a lot of them in, they didn't brown as quickly. I have lined this bowl with some paper towels so I can soak up some of that oil relatively quickly. But these are kind of golden, but they're not burnt. So this is my first batch. So now all we have to do is assemble our salad. We just throw some green beans on our plate, a little of our bean sprouts, some of our lovely spinach. Yeah, it's nice and green and fresh. An egg. I halved about 3 eggs. I have some matchsticked cucumber slices, which I'll throw on there, and a nice wedge or 2 of fresh tomatoes. That looks perfect. I'm going to take some of my chips, and I'm going to sprinkle those. They are still reasonably warm from the frying process. Throw those on top. And then finally, a little bit of my peanut sauce, which we have tasted, and it is absolutely heavenly. And for the first time in the history of Cooking by the Book, I might have to give Jeremy Pang a 3 thumbs up because everything in this recipe worked perfectly. The blanching of the vegetables kept them fresh. The sauce was easy to make and is very aromatic. And the French fries worked perfectly and layered together. This is our salad, which I'm going to take a bite of right now. We're going to see if this is everything that we hope it to be. That is terrific. The sauce itself is a triumph, mixed with the crunchiness and crispiness of the French fries over the crisp vegetables. This is a winner. I hope you check out Simple Family Feasts from Jeremy Pang. I hope you make everything in the book and you create a family feast of your own. Until next time, get out there, get cooking, don't be afraid of your kitchen, and we'll see you soon.